Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 126 of Comic Book Queer's Legacy. My name is Brett, and I am here to talk to you about comic books. And so is my co-host, our co-host, really, EvilJeff. Hi, Evil.
Why, hello! How are you doing?
Not well.
Yeah, I guess that's the thing. We need to think of a new thing to say. Because when you say how are you, you can't say how are you. It's more just like, well, shit happens.
I've been doing that on work calls. Like I'll get on with coworkers or clients on like a Zoom call, and I'd be like, "How is everybody?" I need to stop saying that.
Awful. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then someone starts sobbing.
Oh God.
No.
That's yeah. What are you finding? I have a question because you are still working.
Yeah, hanging by a thread, but yeah.
And I am still working as well. And so the one thing that's interesting is most of my friends are out of work. So all of their stress is coming from like, oh my God, how am I going to pay my rent? How am I going to have money to buy food? Like these horrible things. But then they spend the days where they have nothing to do and they need to like fill the time. So that's like this one form of crazy, where my form of crazy is I'm supposed to pretend that my job is exactly the same and everything's normal when everything is crazy. And so I have this other, my different version. Mine is definitely I'm much more lucky to have my version of stress, but it's just so weird pretending that everything's normal, like being like pretending to do my job like everything's normal. It's so weird. How are you coping with just being inside all the time?
It's not that different. That's not true. My husband and I would go out quite a bit, and I miss New York City. Like I moved here a year and a half ago. We moved here a year and a half ago, close to 2 years now. Mm-hmm. So happy to be here in this city, and it just sucks that it's out there, but it's not out there anymore. It's really unfortunate.
Do you notice that do you definitely notice that it's quieter?
Oh, absolutely.
That must be so creepy.
It's creepy. Although everybody just started clapping and cheering on my block. Everyone just opened their windows and just started woo and clapping and making noises. It was pretty great. That felt nice. Like New York City. Yeah.
Well, yeah, then you're kind of like, oh, humanity exists.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, everybody's in their box too.
You get those, and then you hear the news is like, angry Walmart customer doesn't like his bill, so he spits and coughs on the cashier. And you're like, or we're garbage.
Yeah. Well, that would never happen in New York.
I will say my friend works she works at a bakery, and she's still working. And she's like, there's now only two types of customers, like super nice and like super awful mean. Like either super grateful or just evil assholes.
It brings out who you are.
The worst or the best. Yeah.
It brings out like how you act in times like this. I've seen people have meltdowns.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, to the point of self-sabotage. I don't want to get too specific around what I'm talking about.
You're just talking about me.
No. I'm not. Just people are either like taking a deep breath or they're exploding.
Yeah, it is interesting watching like how I'm here with my boyfriend and how each of us, like he's internalizing everything, where I'm having full outward panic attacks.
Yeah.
Like how everyone handles it completely differently. But you find out who is a hero and who is a villain. You know what I mean?
You kind of do. Or you find out like who's concerned about others and who's concerned about themselves.
Yeah. But it's also the one thing that was like getting me through this was my Asian soap operas and comic books. And this is a weird week. As you notice, we didn't start with like a brand new excerpt from a comic because we didn't have one to read. Comics are kind of on hold right now, which is crazy.
So about that, this is our first hot topic. Hot topics. All right. So it's been quite a roller coaster lately in terms of what's going on with the comic book industry. A lot of people are looking at the sky and screaming, "They're over! Comic books are over!" And I don't quite think that they're over. No. But no books came out last week. No books are coming out this upcoming week, this upcoming Wednesday. I believe. So I don't know what you've heard on your end, EvilJeff. I've heard that titles are shipping again April 15th, that there will be new releases Wednesday, April 15th. But I don't know if we can be sure about that.
But I only read digitally, so will there be digital releases? Because right now they're putting a hold on digital releases in an effort to save comic book shops. But right now, I feel all comic book shops are closed. So the only way you really can read a lot of this stuff now is digitally. But if you just do everything digitally, that might permanently
shut out
the brick and mortar shops. So they're in this double. They're kind of what is that called? A catch-22. But at the same time, right now,
a rock and a hard place.
No one can read anything. And is that the right call?
I'm sure it's not a permanent call, but I think putting it on hold while all this disruption happens, and people need time to think through this disruption and think about how to adapt. And it really hasn't been that long. There was talk of comicshub.com, which is, I think, an online ordering. No, it's not ordering. I forget what kind of service it is.
It's like
it's a service that retails.
They mail it to you directly?
No. It is some sort of industry, like B2B service, that
B2B?
made an announcement. Yeah, business to business.
It's business. I'm so dumb. I was like, bed to breakfast? What does the B stand for?
Jesus. Comic Hub is this platform, this suite of tools that I think retailers used with like store operations. Like it's probably like point of purchase stuff, like, cash register software. They were at the center of this flash in the pan, like story that was pretty much somebody coming up with a new distribution model to avoid everything going on because of COVID, stores being shut down, and get people their comics. So they said they were going to take their website and turn it into basically an ordering site where you would sign up, you would order, you would associate with a store. You would buy a digital copy, but with that digital copy came a print. So you're basically buying print comic books online via this central platform. And then the central platform would tell the comic book shop where you, quote unquote, bought a comic from. You would get an access to a digital copy right there, and the store would send you or hold the print copy for you. Make sense?
So are you getting the digital copy for free, or is this, or I guess, are you paying an extra fee for the shipping? Like, how much more expensive is that then?
That I don't know. I don't know what the pricing model, I don't think they ever got there because they just canceled the whole thing. It was hyped up on Twitter.
And now it's not happening.
People were like, a big announcement's coming. Everyone thought the announcement was going to be a Marvel DC crossover, which I think we'll get into a little bit later in the show.
Okay.
Then the announcement turned out to be this Comic Hub thing. And then 2 days later, after people complained and asked a ton of questions, the news came out early. It was like on bleedingcool.com, that awful site. No retailers were on board. So like Marvel and DC and Image were like, we don't know what the fuck they're talking about. We're not doing this.
Yeah.
So it just died as soon as it appeared. However,
yes.
I got an email from Midtown Comics where I'm a pull list customer, in-store pickup, baby. And they said, go on the app, change your setting to shipping rather than in-store pickup, and we will ship you your titles either weekly, monthly, bi-weekly, whatever you want. And new releases are coming out April 15th. That's what they said. So
you're just going to get everything
signed
shipped.
up to get my comic shipped. Yeah.
Well, but I'm surprised they're open.
See, Midtown, I think it's a pretty powerful franchise. I think it's got a lot of equity. Like, I think it had a cushion, maybe not like an independent shop.
In Los Angeles, there's a law where if you are not an essential business serving food or electricity or Wi-Fi or a hospital, they literally said if we see that you're open, we will turn your power and electricity off. Like people are going around and checking to see if any retail shop is open. They're cutting off their power.
Damn. This shop, I don't think would be open to the public. It would just have employees shipping books out.
I mean, hopefully that would be interesting. I mean, I'll have to look into that because that's what's going to stink. If I need to figure out how I'm going to, if they don't release digital copies, I need to figure out how I'm going to read these. Otherwise, it'll just be you being like, and then this happened. I'll be like, what?
And then this happened, and then that's what the show would become. So nobody knows. It's crazy, but I guess support your local comic shop. See if your local comic shop has got shipping options, or if they're doing curbside pickup, or if you know of a place shipping or doing curbside pickup, post it, tweet about it.
Yeah.
Write a musical? I don't know. Do something.
What was the thing where you're saying there's like going to be a DC Marvel crossover? Was that was that rumors or was there actually?
It's rumor. No, it's rumor. People are like, we're going to need something to invigorate the industry again. Oh, it must be a Marvel DC crossover.
But that's the thing is
that's the best thing.
But people don't like them mixing. Like if you're a comic book fan, if someone's just like, oh my God, so then Spider-Man and Batman, you're like, no, that can't happen. They're in different universes. Like most comic book fans would not abide by that. I feel the only people that would like a mix-up of like that are just like idiots that don't like comic books.
Idiots?
Are you saying you would like?
No,
you
comic
would
book
like
fans would eat that up. It would bring both sides of the aisle. Hell yeah!
But
Hell
I hate
yeah!
DC.
So then you get to watch Marvel pound their faces in.
It would just have to be a good
stupid faces.
See, honestly, I just feel like if it was just the more interesting characters, like if it was the Doom Patrol and the X-Men, then I'd be down. But if it was Superman versus Captain America, bleh, who cares?
Yeah, I'd rather see like B or C or D tier characters mix it up and like solve mysteries together. Like I don't want to see. I don't want to see. Yeah.
Oh, that. If they're having a crossover, does that mean the Hanna-Barbera characters get to cross over with Marvel too?
Ooh, Flintstones Power Pack.
Oh my God, North Star and Snagglepuss.
Oh.
On a gay detective story.
North Star is Snagglepuss's muse when he's writing his next torrid play.
They're going to retell the portrait of Dorian Gray with Snagglepuss and North Star. But it's all just rumors. There's literally nothing else based on that could be true.
Nope. It's just people being like, oh, I bet I know. I bet they're going to. You know comic book fans.
But you said that there used to be there was Amalgam Comics.
Yeah, do you remember Amalgam Comics from like 30 years ago?
No.
Oh, I had a few trades, collected works. There were a bunch of one-shots that combined Marvel and DC characters. You would love it. I know. I don't know DC. But you would look it up.
Who wrote them?
Every creator. Like people had different books.
Was it like Marvel side and DC side writing them?
I think. I mean, this was 30 years ago. Like, I didn't pay attention to that kind of stuff. But I'm sure. I mean, it was comic book writers. You know?
Yeah.
So I'm sure there was some Marvel and some DC. But there was... Speaking of X-Men, Doom Patrol, there was X-Patrol.
What?
Yeah. There was Niles Cable.
All the characters were combined?
Yeah,
was it
so
X-Force
Niles Calder.
or X-Men?
It was X-Force. It was X-Force.
So this is like Rob Liefeld X-Force time.
Kinda, yeah. So you had like weird characters. Like there was a Colossus cross with like Pharaoh Man or something like that.
Okay.
But there was Niles Calder, was Niles Cable, and it was Cable, but like in a wheelchair and looking like Niles. Doc Calder. This one was weird. Oh, there was Shatter Starfire. I mean, that's great. There was one, it was a cross between Domino and Elastigirl, but her name was Janet Van Dyne. That one broke the rules. Like every Amalgam character was one DC character, one Marvel character, except for Janet Van Dyne, Elastigirl, Domino. I had no idea.
Did she have any Janet Van Dyne powers or personality, or was it just...
No, it was like Janet Van Dyne with Domino's spot and Elastigirl's outfit and powers.
Weird.
Oh, there was Beastling. It was Beast Boy and Beast.
Oh.
Yeah.
I guess that worked. Yeah, that makes sense.
Because he was used to be called Changeling.
Who else? Was there Boom Boom? Was Boom Boom or Cannonball?
No, I don't think so. I'm trying to remember. Emma was in Generation Hex. Oh my God.
Generation Hex?
It was Jonah Hex, the Western cowboy, like that movie with Josh Brolin, and Generation X.
Who was Emma?
And Emma was, I can't tell you who Emma was crossed with because I don't know Jonah Hex that well.
Oh, that sounds fun. Are we hear the typing as we look it up?
Oh, that's right. There was JLX, which was the Justice League and the X-Men.
Oh, okay.
Yep. They had like Namor and Aquaman, and the Flash and Ghost Rider was Speed Demon. And there was
that's a good name.
That was a good name. There was Dark Claw. Who do you think Dark Claw was?
Is that Dark Side? And I don't know who the other person would be. Who?
No, Darkseid was crossed with Thanos and was Thanoside. Yep.
Wait, who was Darkclaw?
Was Batman and Wolverine.
Oh, that makes sense.
And his sidekick was Sparrow, and it was Robin and Jubilee.
Well, Jubilee had the Robin outfit practically anyway, so I mean that.
I mean, it wrote itself. It really did. It really did write itself.
Oh, that sounds fun. Oh, I just found it. White Whip, a combination of
that's
DC's
right.
Whip
I remember the
and
whip.
Marvel's Emma Frost. She would focus her psionic energy through a whip.
So great.
That sounds like super fun.
It's super fun. There was Super Soldier was Superman and Captain America. What else? Bruce Wayne, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. was another. It was very cool. Spider-Boy was Spider-Man and Superboy.
Oh, okay.
Doctor Strange Fate.
Dr. Fate. Is it Dr. Fate?
Yeah, Dr. Fate and Doctor Strange. Yeah. Oh, the best? Bullets and Bracelets. It was Diana of Themyscira and Frank Castle as this like
Punisher
shoot 'em up
and
duo.
Wonder Woman?
Yes. Well, it was but Wonder Woman. Oh my God, you're gonna love this. Another character was Wonder Woman, and her name was Amazon, and it was fucking Aurora Monroe was Storm Wonder Woman.
Oh,
yes. And her name was yes. Yeah, it was no joke. And I'm sorry, Frank Castle was Trevor Castle. He was a cross between Frank Castle and Steve Trevor.
Oh, okay. And the comic was called Bullets and Bracelets.
Yes. There was JLX. There was Angel Hawk, who was Hawkman and Angel. There was Apollo, who was the Ray and Cyclops. What are other good ones? Oh, Firebird was Fire and Jean Grey.
Was there any like Mr. Fantastic and Plastic Man, or was that too obvious?
It was.
Was there Fantastic
Oh my God. Yeah, they were mixed with the Challengers of the Unknown.
Oh, I have no idea who they are.
Oh.
Who are the Challengers of the Unknown?
They're a DC property. They're like a family that travels through space. I don't think they have powers, though.
Oh.
I forgot about Dark Claw's arch nemesis, Hyena.
Hyena? Is that like Cheetah and like some other character?
No, it's so good.
Who is it?
It's Joker and Sabretooth.
And Hyena because he It's like a laughing hyena. That's kind of brilliant.
Yeah, it was brilliant. They should do this again.
All right. Well, later on, let's revisit this. Let's ponder and think of what ours should be, and we'll come back to this.
Okay.
What our ideas would be.
Okay. But first, I have a question for you. What have I read for you lately?
Hit it. Bum, ba-dum, bum, kush. What have you ever me lately? Hey guys, as you know, I have been always chomping at the bit to talk about Runaways, but I talk about it and then Brett's like, sounds good. Because I can't have any kind of like back and forth over it because he wasn't reading the new run of Runaways. And it's been going on. It's like on the 30th some issue at this point. It's been since 2017. Yeah, so how far into it are you now, Brett?
I am so into it. Is that what you're asking?
I want emotionally and like literally how many issues into it are you?
I am 26 issues in.
Oh, okay. So you just have about 6 more issues to go.
Yeah. And this is how into it I am. I just want to put it this way. Sometimes you read a book and you have genuine concern for the characters because like it feels like it's really happening.
Yeah.
That's this book.
Yeah.
You get sucked into their world.
Well, that's because this is what I love is sometimes there's not a fight for like a couple of issues. It's full on like a teen drama.
It's amazing. So this is Rainbow Rowell's and Chris Anka's Runaways, and you've said this multiple times, sometimes it's a lot more interesting for there not to be fights, for there not to be superhero-dom and comic bookdom, just kids in a house.
And they're always dealing with their powers and the struggles they have with their powers, the struggles they have that they lost their parents, and the struggles. And that's the thing is that one of the most interesting people now is Gert, how she was through time travel brought back to life. And she is now younger than everybody. And she's also lost her connection to old Lace. So she's not really a fighter anymore. And everyone else has lived like 3 years has passed. And and her boyfriend, the love of her life, is now, he could go to jail for having sex with her.
Yeah. He's 20 and she's 16. But she's messing around with one of the other runaways, not even Chase.
Yeah, she's starting to fall for someone else. Headless robot Victor. Is it Victor Mancha?
Mancha.
I want to say La Mancha, but that's the name of
Don Quixote?
Yeah.
So Victor was killed, quote unquote, in Avengers AI, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Vision.
And then his head, Vision killed him because he had killed Vision's son inadvertently in the Vision book.
Yeah. Are you okay?
Yes, I am. Sorry, I have empathy for Victor.
Well, that's the thing is Victor is like really depressed. And it's like this weird thing of this robot is severely depressed. And he's like kind of falling in love with Gert, but he doesn't have a body. And Chase is trying to like make this body for him.
And he doesn't want it.
But at the same time, Chase is doing all this amazing thing for him, but he's falling in love with his girlfriend and he doesn't want that body. And so the bathtub incident, what did you think was happening? Because that kind of threw me.
Right. So
that really fucked me up.
To give context, Chase does build a robot body for Victor He doesn't feel comfortable in his own skin, quite literally. He doesn't even have skin, though. He's like a Terminator metal robot body. And he stands over a bathtub full of water, kneels over a bathtub full of water, and just disconnects his head from the robot body and lets the head drop into the water. It does read like suicide.
Doesn't the issue end that way?
Yes, but if you notice, he has got organs growing out of his neck.
Yeah.
So if you look carefully at it, it's not suicide. You can tell he is growing a body because they do show the body start to grow.
I did not look that closely. When I first read that, I freaked the fuck out because I just was like, are they really? Does he just kill himself? Ah! But he just
Rainbow Rowell
he grew his body
is so good. Yeah, he just grew his body back because and Chase was like, I've been trying to get you a new body this whole time. I've been working effortlessly, and you could have grown one back this whole time.
And also, doesn't he walk in and
when I was ready.
And then when he walks in, he's making out with Gert, and that's how he finds out.
Yeah,
he's with Gert. Oh, poor Chase.
Poor Chase. By the way, the actor who plays Chase in Runaways has also played a high schooler like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
He was in that show Faking It on MTV. You ever watch that? Where the two best friends pretend to be lesbians to become popular at their super progressive school. But it turns out one of them really is a lesbian and in love with the other one.
Yes, that show is written by power listener George Northey. Hi, George.
Yeah, the guy who did GBF, right?
Yeah. And Charmed.
Directed by
check out his work, georgenorthey.com.
The guy who did Jawbreaker.
My goodness.
The director.
What a world!
I briefly dated.
Dated? What do you mean by that?
I briefly dated the director of Jawbreaker. I told you that.
Yes, we've had that story on this show before.
I mean, dated.
Episode 16?
I mean, had like 3 dates.
Yeah. I know what you mean.
Yeah. Anyway, also there's the whole thing going on with how do you feel about what's his name coming back? What's the dead one?
Doombot?
What's his name? No. The dead character, the one who betrayed them. Why can't I think of his
Alex
name?
Wilder.
Alex. How do you feel about
Villainous
him?
Alex.
I kind of love that whole plot too.
Well, it's great. It built off the history of these characters before this run so well, and it made me interested in what happened to these characters before this run, something I was not aware of most of it, because I didn't read Avengers Academy. I didn't read Avengers Undercover, which is where a lot of this stuff happened. Yeah. And so evidently Nico, who was on Avengers Undercover, and was Chase on that team also? Or did Nico like bring Chase in for this adventure?
No, because Chase and her were in the Avengers.
The
Avengers Academy.
Arena.
Avengers Arena. They were then also brought into Avengers Undercover.
Undercover. So they encountered Alex, who was brought back from hell. Alex is very much like a corpse. Like he's walking, talking, he looks fine. But if you touch him, you feel death. He doesn't eat. All that.
And then that was so weird that Molly chose to like go with him. That was a whole interesting plot line.
That didn't last. As Molly running away from the Runaways to go with Alex. It was really cool. It was because my takeaway was that she didn't feel like she could be depressed in front of the Runaways. She felt like she had to be this character, be the mascot.
Yeah.
And she was never allowed to be anything else but that. So she left them so she can be depressed with Alex.
I know. And that's the thing.
Adorable.
It's like, it's so deep. Like, it's like, it goes into like really deep, messed up things with each of the characters. Like even Nico, the way her powers work now, like how she had to make a deal kind of with the soul, the soul that's bound with her staff of one.
Yeah, so now she used to have to draw blood in order to bring her staff out. It was painful. And the soul inside the staff came to, showed himself to her and was like, well, let's cut another deal. How about instead, there's no pain, there's no blood necessary, but every time you use a spell, another little piece, little drop, little speck of me enters your mind, comes to the fore, is able to see and hear and speak through you.
But now
she's like, yeah, sounds good.
I can't remember. Is it still she can only do one spell and then it's done?
Yeah, she's still bound to not be able to repeat a spell.
Right.
She just doesn't have the pain.
And now she's having sex with Carolina.
With Carolina Dean.
I will say, I want the Skrull that she was dating to kind of come back. I think that would be some juicy stuff.
Zavin.
Aren't
they dating on the show? Carolina Dean and Nico?
I did not watch. Yeah. But then I didn't watch the third season because the second season was
I didn't
so
watch
bad.
Half of the first and the rest of it. Okay.
Yeah, it was so bad. I was like, I just can't. Because they made it all about the parents. And they didn't run away until the last episode of the first season. And I was like, they should have run away at the end of the first episode. And then the parents should have died.
Yeah.
Because the show's called The Runaways.
And then you turn it into the team drama that we love.
Yeah. So you're left off when they go to leave to live with Doc Hammer.
Doc Justice. Sure. Yeah. So, like, Rainbow Rowell sets up these predicaments, these dilemmas that are so juicy and delicious. So you've got Nico, who makes this deal that every time she uses her powers, this evil soul is just going to leak out a little bit more into her, into the world. And now she's signing up to pretty much be a superhero team. The Runaways don't know what to do with themselves. Along comes this mentor, Doc Justice, which was that ever when he's like, his exposition was that he used to be called Dark Justice.
I don't know if that was a real thing or if it's just made up for the comic. I'm
curious. But he takes them into his mansion under his wing, and I can already tell you something ain't right.
I mean, it's super obvious.
I mean, it wouldn't be a story if
if it's too good to be true, then it is.
Yeah, I can't wait to see how it unfolds. So I'm right on the precipice. Next issue is when they're going to take on actual superhero identities with code names and costumes and fight crime. The Runaways, the one thing the Runaways has not done, they're going to do.
And do you have any predictions of what's going to happen, of what you think is going to happen? I won't say anything. I won't spoil it for you.
Well, something definitely isn't right with Doc Justice. I will say that his like assistant guy, I'm tempted to say the assistant guy was a former child, because the story is that Doc Justice and the J, like he's had multiple J teams, which are teams of kids.
Yeah.
And like nobody's questioning what's happened to these kids or why he went through so many of them. I think that the assistant guy is a former like child hero, and there's something fucked up about him. But I think they ultimately kill these kids, sacrifice them. Doc Justice says he's after the new Pride. He's always been after the Pride, which is the Runaways' parents, the villains. That, oh no, it went deeper than your parents. There's a whole organization out there. I think he's the Pride. If there's a Pride, I think it's him.
And who do you think saves the day?
Fucking Alex Wilder.
Do you want me to give you a yes or a no?
No.
Okay.
I want to see.
I love how we'll spoil everything for all of you, but I won't spoil it for Brett.
Wait. Okay, no. My official guess is not Alex Wilder. It's Gert. Don't answer.
Okay.
You know who I want to go on an adventure together, speaking of combinations? Gert and Rogue.
Why? It's so random.
I don't know, because I love Gert and I love Rogue. And I think they would, I think they would bond.
All right.
So anyway, you were right. And I'm sorry, here's the moment you've been waiting for. I was a fool for not reading Runaways. I should have been reading it the whole time.
I know.
We could have talked about it this whole time. I will catch up. We will talk about it from here on in.
I know. It was just like with The Magicians. I was like, watch this damn show. It has you written all over it.
What a segue. Cue the music.
Let's get critical.
Critical.
Guys, if you have been like, oh my God, I don't watch The Magicians, can you stop talking about it? Well, you're in luck. This is the very last episode ever, so we're not going to ever talk about it again unless it's the comic that's still ongoing.
Yes, or until our rewatch episode.
The Magicians has ended, and it definitely ended. It was the thing where they ended it knowing we might not get another season, but if we do get another season, we have a place to go from there. You know what I mean?
But yes, but we are going to give you some hardcore, full circle sense of journey closure.
Exactly. They had it open.
Then tack on a little thing.
There's a thing where it's like, if we need to go on, we can. But now we've put everyone in a place where the viewers can feel satisfied. Like, this is where we're at now.
Absolutely. I mean, things like, so we're talking about the series finale of The Magicians. After 5 seasons, the show has ended. Things like, I'll just start with this, bringing back the season 1, episode 1 villain.
The Beast.
The Beast in the final episode, and revealing that he was behind season 5's villainy this whole time.
Yeah, he was the bad guy the whole time.
That's some series finale shit right there.
And I did predict no one will die, but there was one death.
There was a death. It was very sad.
The librarian. What was her name?
Zelda.
Zelda died. She's good friends with one of my best friends. He's like, oh, a girl I acted with that I'm good friends with. She's like librarian or something. She's like guest starred. I'm like, bitch, she's like one of the main characters now. He's like, oh, she is? That's great.
And she's one of the, over the course of the show, consistently one of the best performances.
Yeah.
One of the best character performances.
Yeah. So she died she basically kind of ended up destroying the whole library and the whole springs where you could travel back and forth to kind of prevent the beast from getting onto Earth. So she kind of sacrificed herself, and the library, the books were pretty much already gone. So the library is kind of gone. And then Dean Fogg, the real Dean Fogg, is now back.
Yeah. So they, the Dean Fogg from another timeline, who was very menacing throughout season 5. Katie, our battle magician, shot him back into the psychedelic realm where the real Dean Fogg was trapped, knowing, maybe hoping, that when alternate timeline Dean Fogg spit in, the unit that realm didn't want to, so it spit out our Dean Fogg, which it did.
But he's still tripping. He's like that guy.
But he's still tripping.
You know that thing where it's like the guy took too many tabs of acid and now he thinks he's like a glass of orange juice, like that. Like he's like now permanently tripping. But they found this cat. They cast a spell where all the crazy will go into a cat. So if he holds this cat, then he can be normal.
Yeah, so he's a bath salt crazy now. But when he holds this cat, the cat absorbs the crazy, and he can communicate and act like himself as long as he's touching the cat.
So then, but he. They were trying to sever the tie between Julia's baby so that she wouldn't go psychic crazy. And he comes in and stops it and steals the seed, and all this stuff is going on. And then Penny is like, hey, he goes to the time traveler. Like, we need to go back in time and reset this. So Julia isn't like blah, blah, blah. And she's like, bitch, we already did go back in time.
This is the do-over. Classic magicians.
And we went back to
That's
the other
another
Chatwin,
callback.
Bringing the callback to the Chatwin sister. So bringing all of that back together.
All of it. But I love that. So season 1's big reveal is, how do you know? How do I know? We've done this 40 times. This is timeline 40.
Yeah.
They're like, no, this is the do-over. Like, it's such iconic magicians. Mm-hmm. Iconic.
And then we get to the point where they finally are able to now. What's his name? Penny. He ends up getting his powers back, but it's just like the cat. He has to hold he has to be like holding the child in order to use his powers now, which was kind of funny. And they're kind of able to. They end up having to destroy Fillory and
epic
rapture everybody. The two Chatwin brothers end up kind of having what looks like a battle to the death as Fillory's destroyed. And then they go to create a new world.
Yep. So they destroy the old Fillory, bring everybody aboard this magical seahorse, like an ark. The seahorse becomes pregnant with them. And the seahorse is this arc that takes him to this new world that they create with a new magic wellspring, because that was the source of magic, the wellspring in Fillory.
But that now means that Alice, Josh, Margot, and Finn are on this new world, and Elliot, Katie, Dean Fogg, and then what's the person? There was also, what's his name? The pervert ghost.
Oh, this is the best.
Who now is alive, decided to go back to being a phantom and giving his body to, what's the name of the person inside Elliot's head?
Charlton,
giving his body to Charlton. So he's still left. So after they create this new world and disappear, now they have like they have no contact with each other, and they don't know what happened. They don't know if they were vaporized or if they were able to start a new world. But now we see that Elliot is now a teacher, and Charlton is there, and Charlton basically confesses his love to Elliot, and and he gives him a little like bracelet that makes it so that he can see so when Elliot looks at him, he sees what he looks like. And
so this probably needs to paint the Charlton was inside Elliot's mind, but then the former pervert ghost, who when they went back in time, prevented him from being pervert ghost and knocked him out over time instead. So he's a real boy.
But he hates
Charlton inside the mind of Elliot, and he hates pooping and he hates humiliation. Charlton inside of Elliot's mind was like, well, why don't I just jump into his body and take it over? And then Santa gave us this bracelet so that when you look at his body with me in his mind, you see me. And then once that happens, they go upstairs and fuck.
And the Phantom guy, who always just wants to watch perverted things, is now going to get to go up and watch him get fucked.
Oh, then that was so funny.
Phantom guy was like, "No,
yeah, pervert ghost would see his own body.
He'd see his own body. So it's perfect for everybody.
A word about the coupling of Elliot and Charlton.
Yeah,
they're like, what do they have in common?
Well, they both were connected to that awful monster.
The monster. Yeah. They were both possessed by the monster. And Charlton's whole thing was like, look, like, I know you never really thought of me as a potential partner, but I'm emotionally available and I'm never going to leave. And so that's all it takes for them to go upstairs. I just love this notion of like two survivors of the same trauma, who are the only two people who went through this trauma connect.
Yes, but I also love that he gets up and walks away as if he's going to reject him. And it's because usually you'd expect a kiss. Instead, he gets up and walks away, goes up the steps. And the guy's like, what are you doing? And he's like, we're going to go upstairs. Like, basically, he's like, we're going to fuck. Like, come upstairs, we're going to fuck.
He's like,
and then they kiss,
I haven't made up my mind yet.
And you're like, woo!
So a happy ending for Elliot, a happy ending for Julia Penny and the baby that Penny needs to travel.
Katie's the head of the hedge witches still.
And they work with the lunatics to make like help control the moon, who is still fucking with the external circumstances of magic. But that brings us to basically like the lesson of the show. Alice is the one who kind of stumbles along the moral of the story, which is she has finally accepted herself, all of her faults, all of her flaws, and has basically self-actualized. Like, she's stopped hating herself and just accepted who she is and even loves who she is. So she's able to control her internal circumstances, which helps with the practice of magic, despite the moon fucking with it. And I think that was like the whole point of the show, was like, you know, you eventually need to accept who you are, accept your flaws, self-actualize, get over it, all of that stuff. It was quite beautiful.
I loved it. It's done. It's over.
Such a good show. It's on Netflix. Everybody, just please, David. That's the show I started.
And we know that there's. You said, wait, did you say you just started Schitt's Creek?
I'm on season 3 now.
Oh my God. I envy you. I'm actually going through it again, but I mean, I envy being able to just go through it and watch it. Wait, are you at the, have you started, has Patrick shown up yet?
Patrick.
The person David's interested in?
No.
Oh, okay. Oh,
no, he just met a Jake. He met a Jake at a party. bearded
that's
guy.
that. Okay, that's a whole fun plot line too. But when Patrick shows up, that's when it gets very emotional and intense, and I love it. So keep an eye out. I cried.
Right.
I already cried because there's only one more episode left of Schitt's Creek, and I watched the second to last episode the other night, and I cried.
Oh, it's a great show.
I will say, with all the stuff that's going on right now, I am crying at everything. Like a fucking like Hallmark commercial or whatever. I'm like, like everything. I'm just like, I'm just so emotionally vulnerable. It's good.
Oh,
though,
not me.
Are you just dead on the inside? You're not crying.
I have shut it all down.
Oh, really? Oh,
we have shut it down completely.
I feel so much better after I cry, though. Sometimes I'm like, I need to watch something and let me cry, and I'll feel better.
Maybe I'll watch something that will make me cry. Tonight, there's only one thing that makes me cry, like sob, cry.
What?
That on your left scene, that portal scene in Endgame. And
oh my God.
I'm not being sarcastic.
No, do you
know understand that I sob?
Do you know what my go-to if I need to cry, what I watch? This is
what?
And I'm ashamed to admit it because I hate him as a director. M. Night Shyamalan.
Oh, is it Grandma's outside the car right now?
Yeah, the Sixth Sense scene with Toni Collette. Because Toni Collette is the best actress in the entire world.
She's the best actress, I know.
The scene where he talks about her grandma, like the grandmother,
yes.
Colette's mom,
oh,
it can make me cry every single fucking time. Where she's like, I want her to know that. Do I make her proud? I'm like, ah!
Okay. All right, let's do this. Let's go back and forth. Like, if we can think of as many movie scenes that make us fucking cry. And I swear to God, you're about to know me and see me because of how much superhero stuff makes me.
I love how yours is gonna be all superhero. Know it? Okay.
Cry.
When I was a kid, I ugly cried aloud watching The Color Purple. When the sister shows up at the end, I literally did a like one of those like oh my God. That one, and also when Empire of the Sun, when Christian Bale finds his parent, like he doesn't recognize his parents, but they find him.
Yeah. Oh, that one always like disturbed me.
What else made you cry?
It's a Wonderful Life when like
paddles.
The end when everyone starts walking in and giving him money,
money.
It escalates. Yeah. Like I start off like tearing up, and then I start whimpering, and then that fucking maid walks in and says saving my money for a divorce if I ever get a husband, and it like breaks the tension a little. So I start to it starts to come out, and then his brother walks in, and I lose my mind.
Here's a weird one for me: Vegas week on every season of So You Think You Can Dance.
What?
It's like, you know, when they're like, oh, you're going American Idol, where they're like, you're going to Hollywood. And it's like the boot camp part where they narrow it down to the people that go on the show. They do that in So You Think You Can Dance, and it's called Vegas Week, where it's just this intense audition process where these people are just trying so hard. And there's something about the beauty of dance. There's something about the beauty of dance and the pressure where they're just like, we don't know if you have what it takes. We're going to ask you to dance for your life. So get up there and just dance for 2 minutes, and we'll decide if you can continue on. And it's like there's like an 18-year-old gorgeous boy, and then he gets up and does some contemporary piece, and then they're like, okay, well, you're going to move on. You did it. And you're like, oh, and it's also like hip hop dancers, who've never done contemporary, trying to do contemporary dance and then doing amazing, and then crying, being like, I never knew,
because they didn't know they could do that.
I didn't know I could do that. Oh, that shit makes me cry all the time.
Oh my God. All right. Sally Field's I Want to Know Why speech and Steel Magnolias.
Yeah, I know.
Gets me every fucking time.
That's a cry. I cried. I mean, that's the thing, is I watch these soap operas and I cry all the fucking time watching them.
Oh, do you know what like what show made me sob uncontrollably so many times? Lost. Oh God, the number of times I cried at Lost.
I cried when the two, what was it? The girl who was on, what's the name of the butch girl that is in the Fast and the Furious?
Oh, Anna Lucia. Yeah.
When both of them died and the blonde girl got killed.
Yeah,
too.
Libby.
that threw me for a loop. That made me cry because I was not expecting
Charlie's
that at
death.
all.
Oh my God.
It's
Desmond
not.
and Penny.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Wait, what was on the note that Charlie wrote when he was drowning?
Not Penny's boat.
Not Penny's boat. Oh.
Comic book stuff though.
Have you cried from comic book things?
Movies.
Oh, comic book movies.
Wait, and I feel like I just cried reading a comic. I can't remember what. Hopefully it'll come to me. Comic book movies. I cried when Emma found out Kitty died. That knees buckling panel.
Yeah, I don't know if I cried, but I was super emotional. I cried watching Onward. That's not really but it's like kind of a supernatural.
Cute.
Latest DreamWorks.
I cried at Coco.
If you don't cry at Coco, then you are severely dead on the inside.
Oh my God, I cried at Coco so hard.
I can't watch movies that I know I'm going to cry with my boyfriend because he likes to like watch and then he's like, "You crying? Are you crying?" I'm like, "Fucking leave me alone." Oh,
me too. Like my husband does not cry at movies and TV at all, and I am a sobbing mess. And then it's vice versa with life. I cry every time Famke Janssen saves the rest of the team and turns into Phoenix at the end of X2.
I cried at that too. Oh yeah, I cried at that too because half of it's like emotional, and the other half
is anger.
No. The other half for me is just seeing her start to glow, and you know it's the Phoenix.
Yes,
you're just like, oh, the Phoenix.
Like I cried. Like I remember in the theater, I cried when she gets up and does it, and you're like, oh my God, Jean's gonna sacrifice herself. Cool, and then she starts going on fire, and you really lose it.
Yeah, you lose it. And God, what is such an amazing ending! And then how we were just brutalized with part denied with part 3. I do feel. I feel X. Do you think X2 is the best of all of the X-Men movies?
Yes,
I think so. Yeah,
absolutely.
I think X2 is clearly the best one.
Absolutely, yes. Followed by Logan. Oh, Logan. Oh, my God.
I guess Logan. Oh, the end of Logan. I cried at the end of Logan.
Holy shit.
I think I cried when Professor X died, too.
Yeah, not me.
Did I cry during Legion? No, I don't think I did.
I cried, Logan. Spider-Man 2, when he saves the subway car and they catch him when he falls, and they bring him in, and they take his mask off, and they keep his secret. Forget it.
I cried in Spider-Man 1 when he first sees his new buff body, but I cried in my pants. If you know what I mean.
My bottom cried. Oh, all right. This one, you're going to be like, okay, you're disturbed.
What?
Infinity War, when they introduce the Guardians of the Galaxy and you just see space, like the word space, and you hear the song.
Oh, yeah,
and it's them lip syncing in the spaceship.
You cried?
Yes, because it's this like joy. It's just this cathartic outpouring of joy. The same thing happened when you just saw the word Queens in Civil War. And you knew that Spider-Man, I still cry because I think of that moment and like how happy I was.
Why do we cry when we're super happy and super sad? Why is it the same thing?
It's just an outpouring of emotion. Oh, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., when Mockingbird has to leave the team and they do the spy goodbye. Oh. They can't.
What's a spy goodbye?
She can't have contact with them anymore. Her and Hunter can't have contact with the team, and like they're not allowed because of this mission and what they do to save Coulson or something. They just cannot have any more contact with the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. They can't even be seen anywhere in the same town as them. So Hunter and Bobby, Mockingbird, are at a bar and they're crying because like they just had this team ripped out from under them. And it's like their family. So they're deciding what to do next. And then they look up and one by one, the different Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. are like at individual tables scattered throughout the bar. And they like all hold up a whiskey shot to the. Oh my God. It's so emotional.
When was the most recent time you cried watching something? What was the last thing you saw where you cried that you can think of right now?
That I can think of right now
What was the
is
last thing you saw?
it's Endgame.
I mean, do you cry every time you watch it?
Yes.
When was the last time you watched it? How long ago?
Like 2 weeks ago.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Mine was
What about you?
Mine was last night.
Unprompted.
I watched this gay Thai soap opera, and basically it's the 7th episode, and it's like a gay guy is in love with a straight guy, and the gay guy finally confesses that he's been in love with him the whole time, and so I already am tearing up that he's finally admitting it, but then the straight guy was like, I can't stop thinking about you either, and it came out of nowhere, and I was like crying that they both like admitted that they loved each other, and I started crying because they're both really hot. It means they're probably gonna have sex soon in the next episode. All right, let's end this without crying, but let's end this real quick. We've had time to think about it. What are your ideas if DC and Marvel had to combine universes?
Yes.
Okay, I have my idea of what mine would be, and then I want to know but let's hear what your idea would be. And it'd be interesting how similar ours are going to be. Oh, before we give the main plot, I just want you to give what is the way the universes come together. So you give me like how do they come together, and I'll give you mine how they come together.
Okay, easy peasy. They come together through a freak accident that occurs when Reed Richards is trying to fix Franklin Richards' powers.
Are you fucking serious? That's what mine is.
Yes, girl.
Mine was Franklin Richards too. Yeah,
totally.
It's one of the pocket universes.
Yes. The other thing I would like is if some freak accident thing happens and it kills the entire Squadron Supreme in Marvel, because I hate them, and they're like the metaverse is like, oh no, we need something to fill that void, and it sucks in like the Justice League. Who the Squadron Supreme is based on.
See, my thing is that something is going on in the DC universe where it's basically the whole universe is in jeopardy. And the problem is it's happening across all of the DC universes. Are there still more than one DC universes, or have they been erased?
Oh, I don't know.
Let's just say there is. So the one person who can there's only one person that can escape the DC universe. Do you see where I'm getting? Can you guess who I'm talking about?
Yeah, who is it? It's Flash?
Guess who can escape.
Oh, Mr. Miracle.
Mr. Miracle. So Mr. Miracle's the one who comes out.
Oh, I would love that.
And so then it's like Mr. Miracle and the New Gods and the Fantastic Four and the X-Men. That would be like my plotline that I would do.
That's awesome.
Yeah, right?
So all right, so here's my combined. So we're doing like the amalgam thing. We're going to combine a thing.
Oh, you're going to do now. So this is now, what would you do if you combined the...
Like, what's my concept? What's my amalgam concept?
Okay.
So I want to combine Krakoa and Themyscira and have mutants be female only.
Okay.
That's it. Easy peasy.
Wait, you're talking about are you talking about like where Wonder Woman is?
Yep.
That's where. So Krakoa is now like where
Krakoa is a home for mutants, but the mutants are like only females can be mutants, just like only females can be Amazons.
So all the mutants would be female versions.
Or just the women. Like we'd get rid of the men.
Would it just be the regular X-Men, or would they be combined with other DC characters?
I think it would just be the regular X-Men.
I do like the idea, though. No, but imagine Cyclops is a woman and Nightcrawler's a woman, and Angel.
No, that would be cool. Yeah, that would be cool.
That would be interesting.
Yeah.
I somehow want to. Is there a DC like British team? What if it's like Constantine and Pete Wisdom are like somehow combined?
Ooh, I
I'm
like
just trying
that.
to think of like what would be the British if I had to combine Excalibur with a DC team. What would it be?
Yeah, I don't know.
That's what I'm trying to think.
Excalibur with a DC team.
DC doesn't fuck with England. They don't care. You know what? Fuck it. Fuck DC. I'm going to combine
They don't really have a
Excalibur.
fantasy property.
What if I combined Excalibur with Doctor Who?
Oh, that's fun.
I think that would be interesting.
I think that's great.
Where Betsy has to take over as the Time Lord.
I also, so my friend Steve and I were having a DC Marvel conversation, and we were like, what team up would you want to write? And I said I would want to write Zatanna and Magic. So Zatanna and Ileana.
Oh, that's good.
And he had a good one too. He said he would want to write Rocket Raccoon and Detective Chimp.
Rocket Raccoon and Detective Chimp.
I like that.
Know what I would do? I would do two groups of twins. I would do the Wonder Twins and then North Star and Aurora.
Ooh, that's so good. And you would call them the Aurora Twins.
Yeah, the Aurora Twins and the Wonder Twins. And then, of course, in the end...
or the Starlight Twins.
Was it Zan? What's his name? Zan?
Zan and Jaina.
Zan, of course, would have to experiment with homosexuality.
Oh, yeah. Which is our dream.
That sounds fun.
Fun.
Hopefully,
right,
Marvel write these if there ever is
to reinvigorate this industry.
Yeah, hopefully
We've
next.
got ideas.
Hopefully next week. Maybe not next week either.
No, I don't think next week. I think the 15th maybe.
Next week, I'm gonna tell. I'm basically telling Brett what we're gonna do. I think we're gonna maybe revisit an old run of some sort.
I'd love it.
And we're gonna watch a brand new show called Vagrant Queen, and we'll
Vagrant
give you the reviews
Queen
of that.
Yes.
And then hopefully the week after that, comics will be back on track, and we can give you we can figure out what's going on in the world of the X-Men. Because
and
listen,
Marauders,
guys,
I need Marauders.
in this time, we need the world of comics. We need heroes. Okay. We need to believe in heroes. We need to believe in hope. And we need more listeners. Please listen to us. Please like and subscribe us. Subscribe to us. Follow us on Twitter. Follow us on
Leave
Instagram.
us a review.
Leave us a review. You don't what else? You don't have fucking else to do.
No, you have very busy lives, and you don't have to do things you don't want to do. It's fine.
All right, fine. Good cop, bad cop. And just remember this one last thing. I don't know if we've ever mentioned this before, but there's this thing that if you read comics, it turns out that you're queer. Bye.
Bye.